Okay, so we said they're eukaryotic. They have cells with a nucleus. The nucleus is kept, DNA is kept in the nucleus. DNA is instructions. They have organelles. We're going to talk about those. Now, all living things are fatty water bags. You've got a bag made of fats surrounding a bunch of watery, mushy stuff. Sounds really appealing. Plants and bacteria get something extra. So, in the case of plants and bacteria, here's what I love about Doceri. I can copy any drawing and just paste it and immediately have another one. Hold your stylus or your finger down and trace around the object until you get a dotted line. And then you can copy. You get a dotted line. Yep. And then you just move that whole thing. So in the case of plants and bacteria, in addition to that fatty water membrane, they also get a nice, big, thick cell wall. So they have this extra layer that's a wall.
How do you copy it?
Hold it down and it'll give you an option to, let's see, cut or copy.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Sorry.
That's okay. You're learning. So that's a wall. That's an extra layer of protection. So that membrane, that fatty membrane, is still in there, but it just sits inside the wall. And if we want to get real technical about it, it pretty much lines up with the shape of the wall, because that wall it's a structure. I mean, it's like a brick wall. It's actually pretty darn, you're not bending it up a whole lot.
So the wall is the plant?
So the wall is only in plants and bacteria. Okay, so you don't get a cell wall. You're just a floppy fatty water bag. That says in plants and bacteria. They have cell walls. So, all living things except for bacteria also have a nucleus. So I'm going to get rid of my watery stuff here. They have a structure called a nucleus.
What?
Nucleus. N-U-C-L-E-U-S.
What did you say about it?
Oh, everything except bacteria also has a nucleus in its cells. So you're able to draw in notes. Yeah, I got rid of the watery stuff.
Okay.
You can keep it. You can copy that drawing and add watery stuff to it. Okay. I know. That's okay. That's okay. You're allowed to ask questions. What's kept in the nucleus?
The DNA.
DNA. So the DNA is all the instructions for every single thing that this plant cell has to do. And it's kept neatly wrapped up on little sticks. If you imagine that this yarn is the DNA, it's all wrapped around a bunch of proteins, because the DNA is really, 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 really long, and trying to pack it into a small space would be kind of crazy unless you neatly store it somehow. So the image is, you have who here has a t-shirt drawer at home? Oh dear. Yeah, so the t-shirt drawer, I'm not really good at folding laundry. It's not my strong suit. So the t-shirt drawer tends to end up with, 46 t-shirts all just sort of jammed in there. Yeah, it's really hard to find anything. It's hard to know, well, where the heck is the blue Science Club shirt from last year? I don't know. Well, that's kind of your DNA in the nucleus, because if you unwound the DNA in a lot of living things cells, it would stretch for miles. So the only way to keep it organized is to wrap it up in the form of these little chromosomes. So this is the equivalent of neatly folding and stacking your t-shirt so you can walk in and go, oh, there's the blue one. It's never going to happen for me. But the DNA is there. DNA, and it's kept on, actually we could make the analogy of you're hanging it up, because the chromosomes are kind of like hangers. They keep it neat. Oops, let me write that more neatly. Kept on, well, I don't want to say hangers, I want to say chromosomes. So we have all that DNA neatly stored in the nucleus, kept on chromosomes. It does identify the individual. We could take a DNA sample from this here poinsettia plant, and we can identify not only that it is a poinsettia plant and not a banana plant and not a spider plant and not a strawberry plant, but we can identify which poinsettia plant it came from. Just like you, if you leave DNA at a crime scene, you can identify the human being it came from. If you take DNA from a plant, you can identify the individual plant it came from. So what else does the DNA do? Hold on. Somebody else. Talk it over with your neighbor. Ask your neighbor, what do you think it does? And then jot down your response and compare notes with your neighbor. So, is that all that we have in a plant cell?
No.
No, we got other stuff. Because it doesn't matter if you have instructions if you've got no machinery to build anything. So we've got other organelles. Organelles are little tiny miniature organs inside a cell. And if we go back here, all eukaryotes have organelles, and plants have some special ones. So, yes, sir. They also have organelles. They have other organelles. So you've got a bunch of instructions to make stuff, but you got nothing to make it. You need machinery to make it. And the big organelles that they have that we're going to actually talk about are these little teeny tiny spots.
Mitochondria?
Well, no. These are ribosomes. So, whoops. Yeah, see, Sam, I just did the same thing. They have ribosomes. Those make proteins. That's where protein synthesis happens. Remember that vaguely? It's on the air test. We had a lot of stuff on the air test about protein synthesis. Okay, who in here was OGT? Just you? Okay. You were OGT also? Are you a senior?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you guys were all... Did you take the OGT?
Thanks.
I didn't know you was. I thought you was.
I'm a senior.
You're a junior.
I'm a junior.
Okay. And most of you are juniors, right? So most of you, yeah, I know. You just said that. You just said that, Zach. I heard you.
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so most of you are air test.
Was that just
I know.
like the online version of the OGT?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay,
It was online, but it was more challenging than the OGT by far.
They said it's much harder than the OGT.
Yep. Okay. So let it go. Let it go, Stacy. All right. So the other big thing that plant cells have are these cool. This is the other thing I like about Doceri is you can draw.
About mitochondria?
No, not really. You like them?
Is
You're a
that
big
like
fan of
biology
mitochondria?
or something?
Well, I mean, your cells have mitochondria. There are some mitochondria in plant cells, but do they have any mitochondria? They have chloroplasts in place of mitochondria.
The green things?
Yep. So these are chloroplasts. Is there anything in that word that you recognize?
Chlorophyll? Isn't that
Well, chlora, yeah. Need to be writing stuff down. So chloroplasts, and I symbolize them with these green things. Pardon? Yeah, it looks like it's going to be waves of rain. That's where photosynthesis happens. That's pretty important. That's how they make food. That's from the sun. That's right. They have chlorophyll in their chloroplasts, and that's actually where they make their food.
It's a pretty good way to use that strong little plant. Knowing that that's
Oh, it does look like a little plant. I didn't even mean it to. No, that wasn't on purpose. But sure, it was on purpose. I meant to do that. I meant to do that. Yeah, so those little chloroplasts are where that happens. The other big thing that plant cells have, and for some reason these are always shown in blue, I know why, is these things called vacuoles.
I've heard of them, but I forgot what they were.
Okay.
your sleeper at home. This is how I portray it.
Oh, that's good. I like that. So a plant cell can have a lot of vacuoles, or it can have just one or two, but they store stuff. Has anybody here ever gotten poison ivy? Oh, me too. I hate poison ivy.
I hate.
Oh, do you definitely have it, Zach?
Yes, get away from me.
Wash? Well, you know what? You know that the rash is not contagious, right?
Unless you touch it.
No, you listen to what I'm saying. The rash is not contagious.
The tree is.
Less talking, more listening. The oil from the plant is what gives you poison ivy. So when you think I spread this rash around, what you really did was you got poison ivy oil all over your shoes, your shovel, your saw, your jacket, your dog, and you never washed the shoes or the dog or the tools, and so you keep touching the rash because you keep doing this, but you also keep touching the tools and the shoes and the dog, and you're spreading the oil around. Yes.
Whenever you get.
About all cell structures. So these are vacuoles. And they store stuff. They're storage bins. They're big, like rain buckets. They can store water. They can also, I asked about poison ivy for a reason, they can also store chemicals that are produced in the cells of the plant, such as poison ivy oil, urushiol. The plant produces those oils. It stores those oils, and then it will release them when you break the cells.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's the oil from the plant that makes you itch. Okay.